Hello, everybody, and welcome to Swimmer Sync 219 here on IPL. Let's have some fun here today. Also, the weekly's back once again. My name is Kyon. I am joined by wait. You're from Free Flow, right? It's
Yeah,
you.
I'm from Free Flow. It's me.
Cakes. How are you
I'm
doing?
Cakes. I'm doing all right today. I'm like a little nervous, but it's SOS. You can't go wrong with SOS.
You definitely can't go wrong with SOS. It's also just a weekly tournament, and I've been told that you're somewhat newish to the online side, at least from having to go from playing the video game to now having to sit in the spectator chair. How's it already feeling for you?
I'm honestly a little nervous. I'm really interested to see the options and like the game plans of the teams we're about to watch. It's like a little weird not being in the lobby waiting and coming up with a game plan, but I honestly am interested to see how they execute. So here we go.
Yeah, let's have a lot of fun here. By the way, the teams, of course, is taking one shot every time we get one shot. Versus living in a bathtub, something I don't really know. We have plenty of time to talk about both teams here. Okay, so this is definitely not the first time we probably have seen anything like this. So guess what, Cakes? We have not thrown you into the deep end quite yet. We'll give you some time. We'll give you some time to warm.
Whew. Thank goodness I did not do my stretches for the deep end. So glad we're getting some extra like warm up time. Honestly, we saw like a decav, and I think I saw a blob on the other side for the limit in the bathtub team.
Yep.
I don't know. With a lot of bathroom theme items going on here. I am honestly interested to see if like their Bloblobber will be able to put on a show. I haven't seen Bloblobber like at all in like the last couple of years. So I really want to see like, is it like a competitive weapon? Is it viable? Like, we'll see.
I think what's fun about Bloblobber, and I've met some Bloblobber specialists throughout my time here, is that Bloblobber I feel like has always been a very fun weapon. I'll say from my perspective.
I love playing Blob for casually.
Yeah, for sure. And I kind of want to see if they want to dish it out here as well. But I want to but we'll see the weapons again here in just a bit here, Cakes. I'm still trying to get I want to talk about the fact that these two teams. Pick up team names, obviously, but also I'm gonna give you about 10 out of 10 for creativity on both teams. I'm gonna give them a pass on that one. So we'll talk about y'all later. Let's see what the weapons are. I mean, what sticks out to you, Cakes, as we load right in.
Again, that Bloblobber and this decav. I feel like decav stocks have kind of dropped off with the new patch, and honestly, you just don't see Bloblobber very often. But we're really getting into this game here, one down on both sides of the teams, and purple team is already like starting to fall in numbers.
Yeah, and I want to see how much they can basically recover on this one. They did lose 2 members of their own, and right now that Inkstorm already being used while the limit in a bathtub, or that's the yellow team in this case, is trying to make their way forward as they're able to still try to play this one a little bit aggressively, but they've effectively gotten wiped out. And one shot has indeed eliminated the other team, and Cakes that is one shot basically getting the zones cap back, and now they're trying to move forward here.
Honestly, with the amount of one-shot weapons on limit in a bathtub, we have Blaster and we have Decav. I am honestly interested to see how many shots they'll be taking after this set. But this hammer really going in and creating a rampage, our brush going around and getting the cooler again, and this rain from the Bloblobber really like creating terror on the top mid, where everybody seems to want to go and control the top of the map.
Yeah, I want to see if they can really continue to move forward with team control top so far as limit in a bathtub, basically getting the cap of both zones again here as the blaster gone by the Bloblobber. Well, a few Bloblobber shots too many there as they find themselves eliminated. Zippy kind of just zipping around from there, and Bloblobber of course trying to paint for tons of coverage here from the left and from the right, but they are losing a couple members on their own, and we're stuck into this very bit of neutral state here. And Cakes, there's an ultra stamp from Goo there, excuse me, that just gets one. That's the second one.
And they're on fire.
And there goes Limit. Limit gets the zones back here to Cakes.
Yeah, this brush really creating terror with this ultra stamp, and honestly, it really feels like taking a shot every time you get one shot is having a lot of trouble dealing with this ultra stamp. We're just not set up and prepared with our shooters to be able to take down that ultra stamp before it gets 1, gets 2, maybe even 3 members of the team, creating a really big disadvantage for them as the ticks on the zone go down here. But taking one shot every time you get one shot has retake the map, and now it's up to Limit in a Bathtub to retake and see what they can find.
Yeah, they already just popped that bubble there. They do have the triple splash on that's ready to go on both layers here. They only can use the triple splash on only just cover one part of the zone. The other part left unpainted. There's only 2 members done on that other side. X-Limit is trying to paint with the rest of their team. Limit in the Bathtub, that is. And they're able to do just that. X-Limit almost in literal 1 health there, able to escape with their lives, and this should be basically both teams kind of just brawling it out here. Now, Cakes, we're approaching about 2 minutes left to go in this game. Any weapons that will start to become important from either team as we're coming down to the near home stretch?
I think our Stamper from taking one shot every time you get one shot, and our Brush from Limit in a Bathtub is really going to be creating the pace of the game here. I think the Zipcasters coming out will force attention and have the enemy team have to turn around or deal with them, or they could paint the zone just to get like a reflip or a neutral. And I think the Brush from Limit in a Bathtub with their amazing Ultra Stamps, poor time to mention that, will be really influential in like creating situations where taking one shot every time you get one shot will have to fear for their lives, to put it frankly.
I think those are, I definitely agree. I'd like to see how that Brush starts to, how much impact that Brush, excuse me, continues to take that to take another few steps forward, a doubly, excuse me, on that, as Limit in a Bathtub able to get both capital zones. We're down to the minute left in this game. Specials, otherwise, I do see the Ultra Stamp. There is a Zipcaster that is available, so they also burn the Ink Star. All specials have been used, and it will be able to use the Ultra Stamp. It takes away the Sprinkler on the board, but 2 members make that 3 members have gone down there from taking one shot every time here. They're able to cap both zones, and Cakes about Limit in the Bathtub has just been running with this one. They're about to be out of the penalty points here soon.
Yeah, their Brush, like, just being able to strike fear into taking one shot every time you get one shot, like the enemy team, just being able to walk through that zone, maybe find a pick or just neutral the zones, like really terrifying. Really creates an opportunity for the rest of the team to go in and find picks and just take space and paint up the rest of the map. But taking one shot every time you get one shot has, while I was talking, reflipped the map and has now been in control. We have one special on their side, and honestly, it's not looking good. Even with their one special, they're really gonna, in OT, really gonna have to do something, where it's really make or break at this point.
It's definitely make or break right now. They might be able to get both capital zones, and that is exactly what's going to happen. I have to double check if the overtime, I might have actually blinked a little bit there. I wonder if the overtime timer ran out, because that was kind of an interesting time for that to expire there. Nevertheless, Limit in the Bathtub definitely getting the first round up, and that is round 1 going over to Limit in the Bathtub to get this best of 3 started here in groups.
Honestly, they're really putting on a show. I'm really like excited to see how like our Ultra Stamp fiasco will like be adapted into this next game, Tower Control Undertow. I think the hammer is really like powerful, especially after its buffs, and I think the other team might need to tweak their like position and plans a little bit so that they can play around it a little bit better. Especially since it's a Brush getting it, you know the Brush is going to get it really, really fast.
Do you think the Brush is going to have the same amount of impact if Limit in the Bathtub comes back with the Brush? I believe that was one of the members of Limit in the Bathtub. No, taking one shot, I think is what it was. Either way, do you think that Brush is going to make an impact here in this very interesting map of Undertow Tower Control though?
I think they might not have as much as an impact simply because this map has a lot more verticality etched into it, but if they do decide to spam hammer, especially with the tower, like the tower controls special advantage when you're in control, I think if they throw the hammers a whole bunch, it'll be really terrifying, especially when like they're up in advantage. But on defense, it might be a little harder for the Brush to get in if they're still there, but the hammers will still be really deadly, like checking like under ledges and around corners. I wonder if like the rest of the Brush's team will be able to fill in the gaps that like the Brush will not be able to, especially because the snap is again so vertical for like a Brush.
And that's a very fair point too, because I think, as you mentioned, because of just the verticality of this map, and maybe there's some definite reason, excuse me, to might be able to switch off the brush, but I feel like you can go both ways with that for sure. So I want to see what both teams want to do leading into game two here, game two, the best of three. As we brought the queue right in, and while we were waiting for the next map to start here, Cakes. A lot of teams that have signed up for SOS this week are teams that are unsurprisingly participating in Ludi as well. So I'd imagine this week for a lot of players and a lot of teams, it's just more warm-ups for Ludi for the most part.
Oh, for sure. Honestly, I really hope everybody who's participating in Ludi, their matches go well. And speaking of matches, ours is right here. We're back with the decav and the blaster, the custom blaster, on the side of limited a bathtub. And the brush is still here. Oh, that's something we mentioned. So I honestly am interested to see how this brush will overcome the verticality of this map. On the side of taking one shot, we have the sticker stamper. That's swapped from the Zipcaster one, the vanilla stamper, but it's tower control, so that's to be expected.
And that's a very fair point too. It does have that booty bomb that is available from taking one shot if they can take full advantage of it. And so far, not really much in the way of like big weapon changes, other than just small kit changes from their main weapons here. Zippy, the one that's that's in the decavs, it was trying to fight against a team of 4, and then they're not able to get any picks, excuse me. But so did 3 minutes of limited bathtub. It is all up to Ku in this ultra stamp toss that actually gets the that actually gets one of the members. I did that was the blob that has dropped as well. Diamond is going to be able to stay alive here. Taking one shot every time they get one shot is right in this tower, not all the way to pretty much into the first checkpoint. They might be able to get the first checkpoint here with the fact they eliminated 3 from limit in the bathtub, and that's what they should be able to do here, Cakes.
Yeah, that's a delayed wipe for Limit in the Bathtub. The brush goes down very swiftly. I don't know what they died to, but it's unfortunate that they weren't able to get the setup and drag attention to the other side of the map. I'm really hoping that the people on Limit in the Bathtub can like recenter themselves and really get into position, because as this tower keeps progressing, there's going to be more and more specials that they have to claw through to get their way to stop this tower. And taking one shot every time you get one shot is not looking to stop their hold, and they're just ripping and tearing through Limit in a Bathtub. It's like really gonna be hard for them to push back in, especially with this Booyah being held.
Getting a double, also helping their cause by opening up the map just a bit and opening up the amount of space that they can take here against Limit in a Bathtub, as they have gotten 3 there. Ku throws the Ultra Sand right to where the tower's trying to push, but they're not able to get anybody so far. Diamond gets the pick onto Limit, excuse me, as the Zuka's being fired pretty much right through a narrow corridor, and they're not able to find anybody else with that Zuka, but the rest of the team is following suit. Taking one shot every time is definitely doing their part to keep this tower deep into Limit in the Bathtub's base here. Zippy is gonna get eliminated. Third checkpoint has been breached here. They are trying to see if they can find anybody else. Megu gets another pick on the Raze, but Limit's able to get the return fire onto this one. Now Silver and Diamond, the gem duo, basically trying to see if they can keep this push going for taking one shot every time. But Cakes, taking one shot every time doesn't seem to be letting up quite yet. This might be the only chance they can let up, but they're still winning some of the fights.
Yeah, and 52, as you can see here, going on an absolute rampage, on fire. Somebody hype up Silver. But we're really making sure to keep this hold strong. Limit in the Bathtub really having a hard time finding their angles to push back in. It's getting really challenging to re-challenge the tower like so consistently, especially when you don't have specials on the board. If we're getting our specials, we have to use them, but if we're not getting our specials, we have to just go. The one player jumping in and like dying on the tower instantly. But now, as you can see, the map is all yellow. Limit in the Bathtub is finally broken out of their spawn with 1:33 left on the game, and the final check was not taken by taking one shot every time you get one shot, so there's still ample opportunity for them to come back and win this game.
Exactly that. There's 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go, and the clock's still plenty of time to make something happen there. Zibby just caught on the side, on the edge of that Booyah Bomb, losing a lot of health in the process as Diamond and Megu are still trying to fight across this right side of Undertow. There's an Ultra Stamp that is being used by Ku. Ku eliminates one. That's Megu that has been dropped there with that Ultra Stamp, and the map still broken wide open here for the Limit in the bathtub. Two members have dropped. Diamond able to hold off Ku, I believe, on that right side of the map. Limit and Crew are still trying to push forward here. It's exactly what you mentioned, Cakes. There was still time for Limit in a bathtub to see to come back here, and they might be trying to take full advantage of this opportunity until three have all dropped all in one go, and it's just poor Limit that's the only one that's alive, at least in the meantime. But Cakes, about 30 seconds left to go on the clock. It's exactly what you called out. They were still playing time, and Limit is just trying to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, and here we go again, just like I mentioned before the match. We have the tower advantage, the brush super, super close to that hammer. And now that we have it, we have hammer and we have, oh, but the brush goes down. We don't see the hammer, but we still have splashdown. We might be able to find a pick. We find a pick on the shot, and the blaster is still alive behind them. They need to make something happen right now and get the tower back in their possession. 6 seconds left on the clock. Can we get the tower back and force overtime? Yes, we do. And now with another hammer, we need to make a play here. We need to take the space and get picks really quickly, or else the enemy team is just going to get their specials, they're going to find their footing, and they're going to crush us as we play for this checkpoint.
Yeah, and that in reference is to Limit in the Bathtub's perspective here. They're winning 3 on that side. Zibby is so deep into taking one shot every time's territory there, and there is going to be two members stretch trying to spawn from the right and trying to drop in the lower ground. Limit and Ku are still all the way through, but I believe they may have dropped out of the tower. No matter the cost, taking one shot every time, that looked super dicey there at the end, Cakes, but Limit in the Bathtub was not able to succeed. And Cakes, in true SOS fashion, we are entering to a third game here in groups.
We are entering
Why
game
not?
3. Wow.
Why not?
This really takes you back, doesn't it, huh, Kian?
No. So, how dare you call me out on that, Cakes there, dude? You had to mention it. I appreciate you. Yeah, referring back to the ancient days of Playoff 3. Nice little replay as well to kind of illustrate what was going on at the end of the sequence here. And Cakes, what kind of strikes out to you as his replay plays on?
Honestly, I think the fact that taking one shot went 3 down, but we're still able to quickly regroup and come back to catch the tower right before they were able to take the lead was honestly like really surprising. I was literally on the edge of my seat because I was like, there's no way they can lose this. They're on the tower, they're in positions, what can go wrong? And they somehow like clawed their way back in, snuck in through under everybody's noses, and was able to take back the tower and just find the pick on the person on tower. There's nobody there to help them out. Like, wow, that was like a really electric game.
That's just game 2 already here in SOS. So that's just, I think that was just wild how that sequence all played out here. But both teams are not wanting to waste any time. They're entering into game 3. Hagglefish Market Splat Zones is gonna be this third game here. It's still no weapon swaps whatsoever. Will there be weapon swaps on the other side? Doesn't appear. No, there is technically a weapon swap. Diamond away from the vanilla shot with that Zukin onto the T-Tech.
Oh, back to the
triple ink strikes. Yep, and triple ink strikes. So this is gonna be, that's pretty much the only swap so far is just that T-Tech. Otherwise, it's pretty much the similar-ish weapons that we're seeing across the board here, Cakes.
Yeah, and I'm honestly like surprised that no weapon swaps, considering that honestly, with one side having no cooler, taking one shot every time you get one shot having no cooler, I'm like honestly really worried, as Hagglefish is a really narrow map. There's only really one way to go to get to the enemy side, and if you're not playing like the bottom left and right. So without that cooler to like be a cushion if you fail on your engagement, I'm really worried how they're gonna get in and like cause some havoc.
Ku's already trying to cause some havoc right now for a Limit in a bathtub there, but they are gonna get dropped. And basically, what I think has been a theme for most of this game is everybody just waiting out fights across the board as 3 members. This is gonna be delayed wipe, and that is gonna be Raze, I believe, entering into Flow Aura state. stay here as they're using that blast. They're trying to find any avenues that they can work with since they throw the sprinkle. They know that Raze is there, and Raze is just gonna have to retreat out of that corner and rejoins their team. And this is kind of setting up Limited Bathtub in pretty good position to see if they can push up and go for a potential lockout. They have a triple splash on to work off of here, and they might be able to get the lead here soon. Here, Cakes, it's just a triple Inkling that's around.
Oh my gosh.
I think with 2 there, Zippy getting a double there with that decap is gonna help. Megu has to burn the Booyah Bomb, and Cakes, that is gonna be Limited in the Bathtub. They take lead here, and they're 35 points and still counting down.
Like, honestly, I was really surprised when they just went down there. I wasn't expecting them to just walk in and do that. But, Limited Bathtub going down, getting wiped out. This is going to be taking one shot every time you get one shot's opportunity to push in and create a hole and get some space. They have 25 ticks left on the zone for penalty, a really small penalty. And honestly, with one person going down on the side of Limited Bathtub, it's looking like they're in a good position to get a lot of points on the board and take that lead back.
And they've also eliminated 2. It's just Koo and Zippy, the decap and the brush that's around, and the brush not able to use their ultra stamp either. So it's going to be 3. That's actually almost effectively a delayed wipe in a different sense, as that's the 4 members that dropped all in quick succession. Booyah Bomb is going to be thrown onto that canopy there, and that is going to be the lead change here. About 15 points remaining, and this is going to be Raze. They have found a pick onto Silver, but can they find the zone? The answer is definitely going to be yes, as the triple splashdown is used to back them up. Triple Ink Strikes isn't going to be enough. Will only neutralize, excuse me, but the blob is the only one that's alive. And Cakes 2:20 left to go on the clock. Both teams trading zones, they get big leads, but not in one able to find the KO so far, because they're just fighting across the map each go around, and whenever they can here, Cakes.
Yeah, we're absolutely in a slogfest, and honestly, the only team who's gonna have more perseverance here is gonna come out on top. See the jump out because it's getting really dicey from I think that zipping, and the hammer comes out with the cover of the Booyah Bomb, but the hammer goes down, and I'm really like, I don't know, we're looking for a pick here on this blaster, but we're really missing, and I think the rest of the team needs to go and check the zone before they get any points left more on the board, because any more and they'll flip the lead. Can we see a zone flip? We do. And now we're 1 up and we're playing on the right side of the map, but the front of the map is free. We could just go and flip the map on the enemy team side.
I'll ask you in the advantage of Limited in a Bathtub, is they're going to get the retake here potentially on the zones. What I was going to ask is, what would Limit need to do once they're out of spawn and able to get through, because they've eliminated 3 from taking 1 shot every time, but they are the one that's basically trailing here with about 1:07 left. What do they need to do to try to get the dub here?
Honestly, I think they're really gonna have to play to their sides of the map a bit more. We have a blaster and a decap, and if we can at least get the enemy team to look at them and not die, I think it'll create a lot more opportunity for our hammer to either be thrown or like go in and look for a pick. I also think because we have this cooler, we can decide to take more riskier fights, but who just dying on the zone and providing like a zone flip to taking 1 shot every time, it's gonna be really hard to get back with only the zap here like holding the zone, but not getting pushed. We're onto a cooler. We could see another zone flip, but only 20 seconds left in the game. It's gonna be really crucial not to lose the zone and not to die, because now we're almost to overtime territory. We're really gonna have to make or break it now, Kian.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make a break right now. That's also 3 members that have dropped. It's only just a Stamper alive. Now they can break through these penalty points here soon. They just need 4 more left. Any pick is gonna help. They gotta haul off this neutralization here from Mega, but they throw the Booyah Bomb just outside of the zone. But there goes Koo as well. Is that enough to hold the zone? And they definitely hang on, despite the fact that got so close at the end and living in a bathtub on a slight deficit throughout most of this game. They are able to win game 3 in the end, and that is a 2-1 set victory here in round 1 of groups. And I think, needless to say here, Cakes, for something that is round 1 here in SOS, I did not expect it to be that back and forth for just the opening set.
Like, if X-Limit on the zap there just wasn't in position and ready to anchor down and hold and paint that zone, we could have definitely seen a much different match there at the end. But really good on them for being able to hold their ground and not get scared and not get antsy and try to make a play and just being able to play for the zone very swiftly.
Yeah, I It's so crazy too, just for how close really the last two maps were for Undertow Tower Control and Hagglefish Market zones. It really just, as exactly before, what the team that kind of persevered the most would be able to take home their respective maps, and both teams kind of felt so equally matched. It was kind of nuts, just seeing it all unfold. And I'm sure you were at the edge of your seat as you described it in game two, how it all played out here as we get to see the score update